All right, we're here. It's May 1st. I'm going to talk playoff basketball, a little updates on how the series are going and the series that are still going on are phenomenal. The Knicks and the Sixers series just took a twist. The Pacers-Bucks series last night just took a twist. Can the Heat answer tonight? I think they can. Can the Magic come back? I think that series is just kind of a slugfest for nothing. And then this Mavericks-Clippers game is tonight. And, but we'll start with the series that are over, I guess. I didn't want to, but I have to be transparent here. My Phoenix Suns got swept, embarrassed, just cold-blooded murder on the dance floor. KD getting dunked on at the end of Game 4 was just awful. It's been a few days since, and I'm a little over it now. Not entirely, because even talking about this right now, I am starting to feel sad again, but it sucks. I thought we were going to sweep them, to be honest. They hadn't beaten us in like 2 years, or like once in like 3 years, or twice in 3 years, something like that. And we just flat out weren't ready. Didn't have enough depth. Our Grayson Allen getting hurt, being out games 3 and 4 was not ideal. And yeah, there wasn't enough adjustments made. We just couldn't match them. It just ended up being, weirdly enough, a very bad matchup for us. We played them so well each time in the regular season. I remember we played them really early in the season, like first 15 games maybe, and they were the number one defense in the league, and we just absolutely tortured them. It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. Everyone's looking towards the future now, you know. Our only tradable assets are our starters, essentially. KD, Nurk, Book. Book ain't going nowhere, Stephen A. Sorry about it. But that's absolute fan fiction. It's sicko shit, honestly. It's pornographic. It is illegal. It should be to even say that Devin Booker wants to go to Phoenix. That's like, those should be grounds for like losing your job, dude. It's just the absolute worst. But yeah, I'm house sitting right now, so I have a new setting, which maybe that'll get the views. You know what I mean? But these plants are great. This little corner of the house is great. This light is a little messing me up a little bit, but I think I still look fine. But yeah, Beal was awful in Game 4. He was awful most of the season. He was hurt a lot. Trading for him was a mistake. If we can flip him, if he lifts up his no trade clause and decides to leave, that would be so ideal, because we're supposed to pay him $50 million the next 3 years, and I know there's teams out there that would love to have him. Possibly the Knicks, possibly the Heat. They were trying to get him earlier. I really want to see KD and Book run it back. As foolish as it is to say, you know, KD looked like an old dog out there at the end of the series, and this is the first year of his career that I've thought that. And I've been a KD fan since I knew who he was. And he was a McDonald's All-American. I was like 9 years old or something, and then he went to University of Texas, and my grandparents lived in Austin and worked at the university, and like I just remember falling in love with him then. I have his rookie Seattle Supersonics jersey. It's like a youth small or like a youth medium. I still have it in my closet. Hopefully I can get him to sign it one day. He's like my favorite player of all time. So watching him not quite be not being the KD that we know or that we once knew was really sad. Really sad, and it just makes me really sad. This whole situation makes me really sad. Book wasn't himself. Everyone's saying they got to can Vogel, but in reality, we didn't really give Vogel the type of team that he needs. When he won with the Lakers, he had LeBron and AD, but they had like 3 7-footers. And going back to his Pacers teams, having a guy like Roy Hibbert, making Roy Hibbert an all-star, I think, one year, and just kind of building his team out that way. We just had Nurk, who's limited on defense. I like Nurk a lot most of the year. I think he's one of the better offensively skilled centers in the league, but my God, did Gobert shut his ass down. It was not even close. This is the first time I've seen Gobert, and maybe I'm just ignorant because I didn't like him and I didn't like those Jazz teams, and no one really likes Gobert, not even the players, his peers, but this is the first time that I watched him, and I was like, holy shit, this guy is Defensive Player of the Year. And I'll admit, definitely an ignorant take. I just don't like the guy. I think he's kind of corny, and I don't really give a shit about the teams that he's played for. And he's French. Nothing against the French, but when I was in Paris, I was like 15. And I had Nutella and a croissant for breakfast every morning. One of the best breakfasts I've ever had. Europe does the good breakfast. They do the light breakfast. When I was in Spain, I would just they called it a pan con tomate. It was like this tomato paste. Not ketchup, but not a tomato slice, just this paste, easy paste on a piece of bread or a little piece of toast with some olive oil. Warm, and then that tomato stuff on it. Ugh, that, and then the Nutella inside the croissant. Some of the best breakfast experiences. Light breakfast, go out for the day. Here in America, we just give you a fucking giant country fried steak and just absolutely start your day with a potential heart attack. It's just like a game of Risk eating breakfast here in America. I love that too. But anyways, the Suns suck. I think we give Vogel another chance because this is all about continuity. Firing your coach and completely revamping your roster again next year isn't going to do it. If we bring back KD, Book, Grayson, Royce, Nurk, Bol, Thad Young. I would love Thad Young again. The fact that Thad Young didn't play, that's the case in Vogel being gone. It just felt like the same game 4 times in a row. Like the fourth game 4, we were closer, and Book was Book. He had 49, but it didn't even feel that efficient, or that it didn't feel that crazy, because it was almost like the impending doom of losing that game. It was almost like you knew it the whole time. I need Eric Gordon off the team. He showed some fight in the series when no one else was, so I respect him for that, but he's just got to go. He's too old, can't defend. We need to trade Bradley Beal. We can only have 2 guys, I think. Because when you have more than 2 stars, the hustle lacks so much when you have a bunch of guys making a shit ton of money who, like, their whole careers it's been someone else's job to rotate. Like when we had Book, Beal, Gordon, and KD on the floor, forget it. If a guy got beat off the dribble and then like made a pass to the other side of the court, the rotations were late. No one was like closing out hard. It's just incredible what like so I was watching the Knicks game last night, right? Who's making more money, the more valuable player, the bigger star? Bradley Beal or OG Anunoby? It's Bradley Beal. Simply because of the scoring. But if the Suns had OG instead of Bradley Beal, we would be a much better team. It's weird how like we need, like, if you have a certain level of basketball player, you hurt from it. Simply put. And not even to, it's just Bradley Beal was so fucking bad. He lost his dribble. He's always falling. He doesn't know how to pass. He just like dribbles into a bad spot and then just fires it into someone. He's fucking awful. I borderline blame this shit on him. It sucks. And another little imaginary tale that I can't stop thinking about and it hurts me every time is that we traded CP for Beal, right? But we didn't know that Dame was going to be available. If we would have had Dame, now Dame's not the best defender, and he kind of falls into line with what I was just saying as far as like wanting a lower level guy who's going to do all the other shit as opposed to a high level scorer. But he's a point guard, and I think if we would have brought him and Nurk over with Book and KD, granted Dame's hurt right now, but I think that would have been a better match than Beal. But that's just fan fiction. So yeah, and then the Suns we have the 22nd pick this year, and this is like one of the worst drafts in 5 years, so that's exciting. And then we have one pick swap in 28, I think, and then nothing until 2030. So we have no choice but to run it back, but we need Beal to fucking be a diva. I need Beal to quit just like he did. He didn't quit, but he kind of did. He was frustrated from the fouls. And I liked Beal before he came to us. And Beal's one of those guys, we're going to trade him, and then he's going to come back and fucking cook us. If he goes to the Heat and we play the Heat in the finals, Mike, he's going to average 40 on us. It's just not even going to be funny because that's how that kind of stuff works out normally. But I digress. 13 minutes on the Suns. Sorry. The Thunder sweep, they're legit, dude. I didn't respect Jalen Williams. He's an Arizona guy. I mean, I respect him, but I didn't know he was like that. He's one of those guys, too, that makes me think I could have been a scout. Like, when he was at Santa Clara, I had no idea who he was. But during the draft process, when they started showing his highlights from Santa Clara, I was like, this motherfucker is cold. And he was in the teens, I think. They drafted him in the teens, so I don't know, but the Pelicans suck. Zion's always hurt. Unfortunate for them. Our little brother. The Nuggets beat the Lakers 4-1. Let me just say this also. I am the biggest Denver fan now. Let me look into the camera. I am the biggest Denver fan now. I haven't worn this hat in years, this little 5-panel. This is a Denver hat. I'm like instinctually becoming a Denver person because I want to see them shit all over the Wolves, man. Anthony Edwards, I like you. You're cold as fuck, but fuck you, man. Fuck you. The way that you fucking undressed us like that. As a fan, I have to have that attitude. That motherfucker dunked on Kevin Durant. He punked KD. those Team USA practices are going to get interesting. I would love, there's a fly flying around me, I would love to be a fly on the wall in that fucking gym. Because I think Kerr is going to lead towards Booker to start at the 2. Because we need some shooting out there if we're going to start LeBron. But if motherfucking Ant Edwards is like, he just swept us, he's going to be talking shit. And Book's not a pussy either. Like, Book has so many haters. Book is a dog. So Book's not going to back down from that shit. And honestly, I would take Book as the starter on that team personally. I think Kerr better not fuck that up. Because we're going to have so many fucking shitheads on that team. We're going to have Joel, AD. If we throw out a lineup of like Ant, Jason Tatum, and Bam Adebayo, though, off the bench, like that's going to be disgusting. Disgusting. Anyway. Denver, please beat the Wolves. That's all I'll say. Jokic, I'm your biggest fan, dude. I hate Eric Gordon. I love Eric Gordon now. Michael Porter Jr., you're my guy. KCP, I don't think there's one player I've talked more shit about than KCP. When he was on the Lakers, just a fucking motherfucker. Book punked him. Book did to the Lakers what Anthony Edwards did to the Suns. When we went to the finals and we beat the Lakers, and Book had like 47 in the elimination game and was like hitting KCP, like chest bumped KCP, talking shit the whole like until the final second. So like I respect Anthony Edwards. I just am now on the other side of it where like the younger guy is beating like KD, Beal, Book, and it's not fun. I hate it. I'm sad, and I'm sad, and I hate it, and it's the fucking worst. But anyways, the games from last night. Who played last night? The Knicks, Sixers, and then the Pacers, Bucks. That's right. Knicks, Sixers. Philly has some life. Maxey going off for 7 points in 28 seconds is unreal. Brunson had that bad, like he picked up his dribble and like jumped up in the air to shoot and then fired it into the corner where Hartenstein was cutting and threw it out. I don't know if that was in the fourth quarter or overtime, but that was like a very human play by him. He's been one of the most clutch players these playoffs. I don't know, man. It's so funny how one game can change everything, and like these teams that are down 3-1, so like the Bucks won by like 20 or 30 last night as well. Like when these guys' backs are against the wall, they are fighting. Like that level of desperation is just so high, and with teams like that where I think Tobias Harris played well, but you got these older guys who have been to the playoffs a couple times or enough to kind of realize 3-1 is like a dangerous place to be. And then you've got a young Knicks team and a young Pacers team who just didn't match that energy at all and got. That Knicks-Sixers game, though, Tyrese Maxey is the real fucking deal. He got Mitchell Robinson to jump, leaned into him, knocked it down. That's a hard shot to hit. Jumping into him, leaning with your right shoulder, but like jumping left too and like releasing his shot a little bit to the left. That's tough. Knocks down the clutch free throw and then just pulling up from the logo like a fucking maniac. That's crazy too. So I think the Sixers have life, and then they're going back to Philly for Game 6, and then Game 7, anything can happen. They're going to be in New York, but anything can happen. Joel Embiid is just an injured, limping like giant out there, and still going crazy. Also, the dirtiest player in these playoffs by far. I thought when he pulled Mitchell Robinson's leg when he was jumping, that should be like prison prisonable offense. That is so goddamn awful. I can't even. I was disgusted. Like when he smacked the fuck out of Jalen Brunson in the face last night, and that's like as blatant as it can get. But I was far more upset at the leg pulling thing, because that's like the legs, ankle, knee, anything like that is just so detrimental. And PTSD for me. Tore my ACL dunking in 8th grade. Anyways, yeah. So I think both those teams are in trouble. If Giannis comes back, I actually think that might hurt the Bucks in a weird way. An injured Giannis would be tough. They need Dame, though. Dame could just go off for 35 and help them win a game. I don't know. I think the Pacers are in a better spot than the Knicks. I think the Knicks are in more trouble because just the way that game ended, the Sixers have all of the momentum. And yeah, Cavs Magic, I don't really give a shit about that series. Paolo's legit. So far, it's just been the home team winning. I think that game was the closest game. Games 1 and 2, the Cavs kind of had the whole way. 3 and 4, the Magic just absolutely suffocated the Cavs. Back in Orlando, I think the Cavs can get that one. They didn't have Jared Allen, which sucked, but Evan Mobley stepped up. Evan Mobley missed like 20 games this year, I think. But next year, the year after, he's going to be a real big problem. Once he fills out a little bit, he's so smooth and so athletic and so skilled for his size. It's really cool. And yeah, that leads us into tonight's games. I'm going to go pause this real quick. I'll be back. Okay, finishing this up. I had to go take a dumpski. Tonight's games, Mavericks and the Clippers, Game 5, series notched up at 2-2. Tonight is going to be a phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. Where is it again? Let's see where it is. This one is in LA. Great. I think it's going to be tight. I think the spread's 3. So it's going to be tight. Vegas thinks it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be really tight. Like last couple possessions of the game, tight. Not like the opposite of my tummy right now, dude. I'm watching this house. There's this mirror. I was walking around last night in my tank top. Some people used to call them wife beaters, but bit of an aggressive name, I'll admit, but I was walking around in one of those and I just like turned. I looked. It's barrel season over here, dude. I'm a barrel right now. Heading into summer with a barrel. I've been doing some of my cuz I have a bad back. I've had a bad back for like a little over a year now. And I was doing some like of my PT exercises, and that's helping a little bit, but my God, awful. Anyways, this Clippers Mavericks lineup is going to be awesome. Awesome. I cannot wait to watch it. James Harden and Luka. It's going to be a battle of those two, I think. Obviously, role players win you playoff games like this, but those two are going to be floor generals. Dishing. I think they'll both have 30. They'll both have at least a double-double. Maybe if they both walk out, I think there's a chance both of them walk out of this game with the triple-double. It's going to be sex for basketball lovers. It's going to be so much fun. Kyrie and Paul George are also going to be two guys who can change the game, obviously. If one of them drops 30 or 40, that'll help their team greatly. But yeah, I think that's a series that is totally up in the air. Probably the best series still going, if we're being honest. And it's a must-watch. Heat Celtics, the early game. I think the Heat keep this one close. The spread in that one is 14. I took the Heat plus 14. I think they're going to come into Boston. The Celtics are without Porzingis. Not that they're still not a wagon, but I think Bam has a huge game. The Heat are without Jaime tonight. They've been without Rozier and Jimmy Butler this whole time, but Jaime being out hurts, but I think that gives a little more clarity to that position, because they have, like, when Jimmy's healthy and Jaime, they have like 5 guys who are like that 3-4 wing player. They have Jimmy, Jaime, they have Jovic, who is hooping right now. Hayward Highsmith is a gamer. And then they also have Caleb Martin, who I think is going to have a good game tonight too. So I don't see that much drop-off without Jaime. Jovic and Martin are going to carry the load scoring, and Highsmith is going to be the difference maker and a guy who keeps it tight. Derek White, by the way, so awesome, so good. I adopted this orphan fantasy basketball team, dynasty fantasy basketball team, just a random league on Sleeper. I'm a fantasy degenerate that way, and I've invested like a lot of time in it. But I have Derek White, and I remember at the beginning of the season being like, okay, I'm going to start him, but he has blown me out of the water. I've been following him closely all year. There's so much focus on Tatum and Brown and those other guys that frees up White, and he's just the ultimate role player, the ultimate guy. I keep getting these thumbs up right here. I don't know if that's going to come up in the recording or what, but that'll be a good game. I think the Celtics are pretty safe. No one's safe in the playoffs, but I think the Celtics are going to move on, maybe even tonight. They're in Boston, but I expect Miami to keep it close, way closer than 14. I wonder what alternate spreads, what numbers I can get from that, what odds I can get from those lines. But yeah, those are both going to be fun. The Celtics, I'm sure. The Mavericks Clippers is going to be tough. If the Mavericks can somehow steal this one and then go back to Dallas with a chance to win the series, that'll change momentum. It's like 2-2, best of 3 series. Honestly, it's kind of like a reset and reload. Kawhi being out sucks, but they lost when he played game 2. I forget who won the other games, but it's going to be a war. It's going to be fucking awesome, and I'm going to be watching. I hope you guys are too. So thank you for watching if you have been and you made it this far. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.